Hi everybody, going third, so everybody's a bit tired, everybody's a bit sleepy, everybody had a few drinks, but I do have the opportunity that I can pull on anecdotes from everybody else, from the two previous excellent speakers. And I would really love to be able to stand up here and give you a case study about how awesome Bloomberg is and how we've transformed the organization. For those of you who don't know, Bloomberg is a massive organization. They have the single largest private network on the planet. They have literally thousands of developers, and they take in millions, tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions per year. They're enormous. And as such, I haven't fixed it yet. But I am doing my best, I can tell you. Speaking marvelous. So, because I don't have a case study, this is going to be more about what business agility is and how I can see the differences between the way in which we're trying to operate and the way in which we're trying to improve at Bloomberg, and what business agility really needs. So this is going to have a little bit more theory. There are no new ideas, okay? So they're just new interpretations or new expressions of them. Everything I will say to you tonight, I have stolen from somebody else. Even that line I stole from Jeff Patton. So the point I'm going to try and make is that I see a lot of organizations are chasing business agility, and we're one of them. And despite huge amounts of effort, at the end of it, we're different. But are we actually any better? So, making things better. Business agility, when people think business agility, what they're really thinking is agile. It's what agile used to be. It was what was originally conceived to be. There was no need for the prefix business. It was just it. It was agile, and that was better. But as organizations have taken it and adopted it, and we've become commercial, and large corporations are trying to do this kind of thing, we've warped it, we've twisted it, which now means that what agile was, we've now had to change the term and the definition to be business agile. So in other words, now we've got to take what we now call agile and work out what is wrong with it, and work out how to turn it back to business agility. So if we say we are looking to make things better, so the intent is to improve. That's the plan. We are going to make things better. So we're going to have an idea of how we're going to make things better. Then we're going to change stuff. Have we made and improved? Is it better? And then we'll just tweak it based on feedback. This will make the world a better place. It's not hard. I mean, this is fundamentally plan, do, check, act. This has been around for ages, all right? This is nothing radical. This is people refer to this as the Deming cycle. Well, even Deming nicked it, all right? So this has been around forever. So now what we'll do is people are doing this from the context of let's be business agile. Let's be agile. Let's do the agile thing. Okay, so we're going to go agile. We're going to do Scrum training for dev teams because that seems like a good idea. I'm not sure if it is a good idea, but that's what every other large corporate is doing. So maybe we should do that too. Then we'll start with those agile practices. You know, many of you have been in dev teams, have been subjected to this experience. Do we look agile yet? I'm not sure. Well, let's improve those Scrum ceremonies. Now, typically at this point, you'll get an external, highly expensive agency in, or somebody even more expensive like myself, to come in and make those Scrum ceremonies going. You see? People are laughing. Either it's because I've not done up my flyers, or because this is resonating. Okay. Agile is not the goal. This is massively important. For all of those of you who are experiencing, because I suspect people in this room will be experiencing it rather than initiating it or paying for it, if you are experiencing an agile transformation, agile is not the goal. A goal defines success criteria. It's like if you're playing football, I use that analogy because it has a goal and it's quite easy to understand. Kicking the ball in the goal, if you do that, you're going to be successful. I mean, obviously there's some slight permutations. You need to do it more often than the opposition, and you've got to choose the right one. But in theory, if you kick it in, you're successful. Now, that implies that if you achieve the goal, you will be success. Yeah? Huh? Does agile equal success? If I am able to implement those agile things, am I successful? Well, now it comes back to what does it mean? I mean, does it mean that agile experience that I talked you through in terms of we're going to have Scrum training, or does it go back all the way back to Snowbird in terms of what those people were talking about in the manifesto? See, those people would say, yes, agile is successful. But we've twisted it. We've warped it in our large cultural transformations. We've applied Lahrmann's 4 laws of organizational behavior upon it, which now means that no, agile now is more representative of a way of operation within a bunch of IT teams. So no, it doesn't. So it kind of depends on how you define it. And this is the absolutely critical thing, that this is what business agility is, and this is where we make the mistake between business agility and the kind of agility that most of us, or not even agility, it's the word agile, that noun agile. Fantastic post recently published by Tobias Mayer. He's talking about the wording behind agile. Agile is an adjective. Too often in our appreciation of the world, it's perceived as a noun. It's a thing. So, I believe that we've made things different. If we have our agile transformation, if you've experienced one of these, it looks different. We're organized differently now. We structure our work differently. Okay? It used to all exist horizontally on Gantt charts. Now it's vertical in backlogs. We've got new terms, we've got new titles. You know, some people have managed to wangle a promotion out of that. I'm not a project manager anymore, there's loads of them. Scrum Master. We've got new tools, got new governance, but this is all window dressing, all right? It looks completely different. Now, those of you that have done any studies on culture, on human culture, you'll find that one of the first identifications of human culture is an external piece, all right? Things like dress codes, yeah, smart, casual, dress, formal, hijab, these kind of things, yeah? They're an external expression of culture, but that doesn't define who you are. I could stand up here in a dress. Look a bit odd. But I could. But it wouldn't make me the same as those people that do that on a day-to-day basis. Yeah? That's an external expression. Agile, as it was originally conceived, is something internal. That's why people refer to it as a mindset. Loads of people go, what's Agile? It's a mindset. Yeah. Why did you say that? Because it's in my interview notes. It's just here. Yeah. When asked, say mindset. Nobody has a clue what that means. So, what would better look like? Yeah? So if that was Agile, if Agile within IT, how we are experiencing it, what your CSM class for 2 days to put on your CV so that somebody thinks you know something about something you fundamentally don't, delivers, what does better look like? See, these are kind of things that I think better looks like. None of these are achievable. Yeah? None of these are an end state. Yeah? They're all analog in their description. I have more value. I feel more attachment to the work. I have a greater sense of purpose and identity. I understand what the hell I'm doing and why. More passion. All right? This is something which large organizations will suffer with. The larger the organization, the less engagement you'll find your teams have. More reliable. Okay? This could be code quality. It could be delivery on a cadence. It's that kind of stuff. More responsive. And now some people would say business agility is fundamentally represented by your organization's ability to respond to a new situation and take and seize that opportunity. Yeah, so long cycle times, complex code bases, new idea. Hold on, I just need to finish everything I'm working on. That takes 6 months. Then I need to build your idea. That takes another 6 months. So in a year, I can deliver against it. That doesn't feel very business agile. Okay? So these are what better would look like. So, why are they different? Okay. And I think this just comes back to how large organizations work. Now, my experience, I've been at Bloomberg 2.5 years. We're very large. Previous to that, I've worked in central government and for other large organizations, but in finance, travel, retail. But typically, my experience is very large. So for those of you who have the opportunity to work for small, trendy startups, you can all right. In the statement, we want to be agile, it's not the agile that's the problem, it's the we. all right? Who is asking this? Who is saying this? Who is we? Yeah? We is a wonderful term because it's a perception of other through our own eyes. But you could ask everybody to define who we is, and you get a different answer. So if you were to say to someone in your organization who is associated to the delivery in which you're undertaking, and they were to say, and I'd say, how are things in your area? Do you have a problem? He said, yeah, we've got a problem. All right, stop there. Write down everybody on a piece of paper that's included in your definition of we. And then I'm going to ask each of them, because they're obviously involved, if they can write down the same definition. And you're going to get 72 different sets of people. I mean, there will be some common person involved in all of them. This person gets the blame. But typically, you're going to get a very different definition of we. OK, so standard SDLC. We've all seen this many times before. But I have slightly changed the terminology here. OK, so it's opportunity. It's concept. It's there's something out there that we can use. Then we kind of analyze it. We think about it. Then we actually work out how we're going to change that. Then we're going to build it. We've got some degree of subsequential test. And we're going to technically deploy it, which means I've moved my code into a production-related environment. And then I've got my user adoption, okay, which means I'm going to turn the feature toggle on. I'm going to, all that downstream change management, feedback, all that kind of stuff. So standard SDLC. This is when you speak to most people in IT transformation, they refer to we. They refer to this. This is we. We do some design, we build, and we do a good chunk of the test. Maybe you're a bit up here. Maybe you're including some business analysis, and maybe you got some opsy people. All right? We're so agile. Here. All right? And this is the difference. This is not business agile. This is commercial, I can sell a training course agile. This is the value. The value delivery is I've identified value here, I have achieved value here. So this is the we, all right? I made some notes in relation to some one of the other speeches, which actually I feel is really important to this. It's the holistic ownership through your mass transition from Eurostar, okay? So they identified who is it that actually owns this stuff, and that's why it's going to make a bit of a difference. Okay, so how have we managed to get ourselves into the situation? How have we now managed to get ourselves so that the definition of being better, the original definition of Agile, is so far removed from where we are now? Well, honestly, I think it's about scale. I think this is really where the problem has come from. At small scale, we all know what we want. So a small team, and I'm very jealous of those teams where the people delivering the work understand why they're doing it. I know that sounds utterly crazy, but actually, when you're a small team, they care. Now, I was very fortunate. I did a wonderful project for the Foreign Office, and the reason that was a really, really good project is because everybody on that team understood exactly what we were doing, and the definition of success for that team, or the definition of feeling good, was doing something valuable. And value was a universal definition, including everybody in the team and the client, okay? So we were all working towards the same goal. This is a problem. We've lost touch with what value means. We're now defining value within our own relationship circle. So if I own that middle layer logic-based team, if my logic is awesome and I've enhanced the logic processing capability of my software, then I have achieved success. Even if that logic processing capability is not utilized or is delivering bizarre results, that doesn't matter. It's a beautiful piece of software. We've detached ourselves from our genuine piece of reality. And the real thing here is we know who owns this. Now, you could argue that there is somebody up here that owns it, but you could also argue in a sort of super touchy-feely way that we all own it. Over here, it's much harder to identify who owns it. It's definitely not me, or whoever is, no one person I'm going to speak to owns it. Sometimes you can find it's somebody who does own it, but they're so far removed as the kind of person that when they enter the office, everyone's like, ooh, they're in the office, which genuinely happens when Mike Bloomberg turns up to the office. But actually, it'll be the case that often nobody owns it, and that's when it starts to fall apart, and when you don't have that sense of ownership. So if you are in the situation, which I am, what do I do? So typically in this kind of I stop pushing on the let's be agile thing and go back. What is it that we're trying to achieve? What is the problem you're trying to solve? Because it's not that you're not agile. That's what somebody has sold you. What is it that you're actually trying to achieve? How do you measure it? What are your milestones? How do you know you're progressing? How do we know we're improving along the way? And when it comes down to this, what you start hitting is product delivery, not software delivery, okay? Software, the things many of us in this room feel an affinity to or an ownership to, is not the answer. Value is what we're trying to achieve, yeah? So within Eurostar, they are not trying to build super widgets, all right, or a fantastic website. They're trying to sell seats on a train. And if you can feel within your team that you are helping sell seats on a train, then you're genuinely buying into it. It means that whatever role you are taking within that organization, whether you're trying to come up with great ideas or trimming those ideas down or doing feasibility studies on those ideas or writing software or deploying software, you're all doing it for that same singular purpose. So I would like to propose that for business agility to get this point across, we need to be able to express it to people outside of IT. Now, the Agile Manifesto makes a lot of sense, but it's seen now as something that's done over there. Yeah, Agile, brilliant, I love Agile. You go out and do it. Yeah, just don't impact me. Anyone been in that situation? Choosing the right ideas over delivering as many as possible. Okay, so we've got great ideas. I've got all these brilliant ideas. So what we're going to do is we're going to queue them up, and then I'm going to send them over to IT, and they're just going to deliver them. All right, I've got 10 ideas. I've alphabetized them. So start with A. Let me know how you're getting on when you get to about H. All right, and we need to get to Z by Christmas. This is just ludicrous. Right? They can always come up with more ideas than we can possibly deliver, but we need to be able to choose the right ones. What are you doing within your organization to thin those ideas out, to weed them out? You know, how are you testing these great ideas to ensure that they are worthy of your incredibly expensive development team's time to invest? Improve the end-to-end experience over improving the code. So whilst we have many, many developers in the room, and I'm sure some of the things they can do, nobody else can do. They can write code, I can't. But there will be cases where actually writing the code is not the most valuable thing they could be doing with their time. Potentially reviewing somebody else's code, because it's going to deliver the value. Potentially it's hypothesis testing that other idea. Yeah, potentially, it's helping out with the change management and the marketing, the comms, and writing the user manuals that we're going to be able to use to communicate to our clients. Yeah? It's what is it we are going to be able to do that is the best use of your time to deliver return, to deliver value. Now, in my world, it's interesting because Bloomberg is a subscription model, so actually a lot of the work we do doesn't have an immediate return on investment, unlike in News UK and in Eurostar, where they are transactional-based systems. But fundamentally, what is the best thing you can do? Listen to your users over listening to your management. This is a tricky message to sell. It's about feedback. It's about ensuring that real feedback beats the opinions. So I had a wonderful conversation with Dan North, and he was saying that everybody's got an opinion, all right? Everybody's got an opinion. And if we've all got opinions, yeah, we might as well just use mine. Because I've got the microphone. But data will always trump an opinion. So I hear what you're saying, that's brilliant, yeah? But I've got 14 pages of verifiable statistics that proves you're wrong. I mean, you've got to be careful how you give that message. You know, I got 14 pages of "you're an idiot" written on a bit. That's not going to get out so well. But point here is that you can really use the feedback that you gain from your actual system to drive understanding. It's about identifying value, and your users and your clients will understand value far better than your management will. And lastly, business value governance over Scrum team governance. Okay, this is only applicable at scale. Okay. If you have multiple teams together that are trying to deliver value collectively, okay, because most large organizations do not operate on a purist feature team structure. I know we'd like it to be, and it's one of the challenges within Scrum, is that there are some implicit assumptions hidden deep inside Scrum. Open the Scrum guide, and it doesn't say, by the way, you need to be, it kind of refers to this whole cross-functional team and a product owner that knows what they're doing, and then it kind of glosses over it. That's massively important. All right? First of all, it means that the team is working for somebody, a singular person, who knows what they want, and the team is able to deliver it. Now, most large organizations, you'll find that to deliver what somebody wants, you need to make a change to the platform, to the logic, to the UI, to the database, and that team over there, and you've got another bunch of deployment people over there. And actually, to achieve genuine value, you need to hit lots and lots of different people. The majority of the work may actually end up in a single team if you're lucky, but they won't own all of it in a massively large enterprise, and I'm talking the sort of Goldman Sachs, the British Airways, the BP, those kind of organizations. It's really hard. And what you need to do then is you want to make sure, even if it's not in one place, you want to make sure that the governance that is applied to the organization is consistent at the same level that the value is expressed. So if you've got multiple teams involved, a front office and a back office, if you allow each team to be purely independent, okay, so this is a dangerous balance of autonomy and alignment. All right? If you allow pure autonomy, it means that your value is now split across two different governance models. You need to maintain alignment at wherever your value is being delivered against. Okay, so the way in which two Scrum teams operate, if they are delivering the same genuine piece of value, needs to be consistent, because somebody super high up is going to want to aggregate their output. They're going to want to see, where are we of the thing that I want. Yeah, well, my UI changes. I don't get told about your UI changes. I want the thing I want. I want my widget. Well, I don't know what they're doing. Well, that's not good enough. All right? If you want to improve the business agility of your organization, then the way in which you look at your organization must be held at how you express your value. So it opens the questions. The bits on the right, these are all thought leaders in the space of product delivery. Okay, so these are people that have written fantastic books around life cycle delivery. It's about looking at the way in which your organization expresses and delivers holistic value rather than just the way in which your software teams operate. If you want business agility, then it's about the way in which your business expresses and consumes and delivers against value. It is not the way in which you organize your Scrum teams within IT. Thank you very much.